Hello, good people of YouTube. It's Thursday, January 15th, 2015, and I'm your host, Wolf Tiger, and I'm bringing to you another excellent episode of
The Things That Make You Go,
the series that takes an editorial and sometimes sarcastic look at the realm of video games and technology. So let's get started, shall we? So what are we going to talk about today? Well, as it turns out, the president has become involved in technology news because as of yesterday, Obama announced that due to the PlayStation and Xbox network attacks, he will be trying to stop DDoS attacks. That's right, the president wants to get involved with the attacks because of what happened on the gaming networks. Let me get you more details on this story. From GameSpot.com, we see the following. In an effort to combat an unprecedented threat of hacking against public and private networks, the White House has outlined a new plan to help stop, among other things, DDoS attacks, the likes of which damaged the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live over last month. In a statement on the White House website titled Securing Cyberspace, the Executive Office and U.S. President Barack Obama called on Congress to work together to defend the nation's systems from cyber attacks from rogue hackers, organized crime, and even nations. One section of the legislation specifically mentions DDoS attacks. The passage, Modernizing Law Enforcement Authorities to Combat Cybercrime, says the proposal would allow the prosecution of the sale of botnets, criminalize the overseas sales of stolen U.S. financial information like credit cards and bank account numbers, expand federal law enforcement authority to deter the sales of spyware to use to stalk or commit ID theft, would give the courts authority to shut down botnets engaged in distributed denial of service attacks and other criminal activities. As Kotaku points out, federal agencies going after botnets would likely make attacks like the ones perpetrated against the PSN and Xbox Live tougher to pull off. While it wouldn't eradicate such attacks altogether, it certainly sounds like it could help. Isn't it just wonderful that our president decides to focus on such an issue right now? I mean, network security is so much more important than, say, the economy, terrorism, people having racial profiling, attacks on citizens, police officers, all that going on, and we're focused on network security. All because Sony got hit twice in two different areas and Microsoft got hit on their Xbox Live. It's just such an important issue. Thank you, Mr. President. I feel so much safer from the bottom of my heart. Actually, no, I don't. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to say this isn't a big issue, but here we have the President of the United States trying to push new legislation based upon the fact that people couldn't connect to their consoles for a couple days. Does that make sense to you? It sure doesn't to me. It sounds like this legislation was already ready to go, but they just needed a reason to really push it. And that, combined with the Sony hacking over the interview, gave reason for the push. Perhaps I'm being a little unreasonable here, but the whole thing just doesn't make that much sense to me. It just doesn't seem important enough to have the president get involved with brand new legislation when our courts aren't prepared to handle this because the laws haven't been changed or updated to handle digital law. There's no precedence there. All it's going to do is tell people they have the power to take care of something, but not tell them how. Yes, the courts, the judges, have the power to actually go after people that do such things, but what to do? We don't know yet. Sure, Sony and Microsoft took some major hits, but not enough to say, hey, Mr. President, please step in and take care of us. I mean, seriously, there are other major issues going on in America and the world that the president can focus on. As always, we'll keep our eyes open and see what happens next. That's all for now. Peace out.